Space was supposed to be extraordinary. I spent my whole life chasing the stars. Years of textbooks, late nights at observatories, every step of my education bent toward reaching them. But now that I'm here, staring at them from the wrong side of the glass, all I want is to make it home alive. Our mission wasn't historic. No parades would greet us, no classrooms glued to their TVs like in the Apollo days. Just two more astronauts on another lunar landing, the world barely glancing up. For me, though, it was everything. The payoff for endless training, simulations, psych evaluations, and nights whispering promises to that pale disk through the telescope lens. Carter was my partner, reliable, disciplined, not a friend, but someone I trusted with my life. In training, he never missed a beat. The kind of man who could quote procedure down to the page number without checking. If anyone was unshakable up here, it should have been him. And yet, on the launch pad, he was sweating. Beads ran down his temple despite the climate controls. I almost laughed. "You nervous?" I asked. He forced a smile. "I'm fine. Just pre-takeoff jitters." I believed him. After all, no simulation prepares you for the real thing. The thunder in your chest as the rockets ignite, the crushing weight of acceleration, the stomach knot twist as gravity lets go and you're flung into silence. The launch was everything I imagined, and still nothing like I was prepared for. The roar of the engines rattled my bones, pressing me into my seat so forcefully my vision blurred. It felt like every atom in my body was vibrating, rattling so violently I thought they may split apart, and I'd vanish into thin air. But then gravity let go, and it all stopped, like the world had dropped out from under me. Silence, weightlessness. A pen slipped free of its strap and drifted lazily past my helmet. My stomach twisted, but my eyes stayed locked on the window. Earth was already receding into a blue-green marble, a fragile ornament against the endless dark. I turned to Carter, expecting to see him sharing the same wide-eyed wonder. Instead, I found sweat rolling down his pale face, the droplets breaking free and hanging between us like tiny silver stars. His jaw worked soundlessly, and his breaths crackled too loud over comms, ragged and uneven. He looked like he had just had the wind knocked out of him. "You're looking rough, man," I said, my own voice sharp in my headset. "Want me to grab the medkit?" "I'm fine." The words came out harshly. Then he blinked and forced his lips onto a strained smile. Sorry, didn't mean to snap. Just nerves, you know?" I shrugged it off. "I guess you wouldn't know you get space sick until you've been up here anyway." The lander jolted as we began our descent. My hands gripped the console, running through checklists as rehearsed, but my mind drifted to the window. The moon was a sheet of pale fire beneath us, its craters stretching like scars across a lifeless face. For the first time, I understood why poets obsessed over it. Earthrise caught the corner of my vision. Our home, impossibly far, glowed like light through a microscope lens. For a moment, the weight of it all pressed me quiet. This was the dream, the reason I'd sacrificed years of my life. I let myself feel awe. It truly was beautiful. At that moment, I understood just how insignificant I was, a fragile speck of dust. Then I glanced at Carter. His eyes were locked on the surface below, unblinking, as if he'd been waiting for this moment all his life. His breath rattled in my headset, each exhale ending in a noise I couldn't quite name. We touched down in a puff of dust. I stepped out first, boots sinking into powder, heart hammering as I took in the silence. No sound but my own breath, no world but this barren stage and the planet glowing far above it. "Beautiful, isn't it?" I whispered. Carter climbed out behind me. For a moment he stood still, shoulders heaving. Then he dropped to his knees. At first I thought he was having a heart attack. I lunged toward him, but froze when I heard it. Not a cough, not a groan, a fleshy rip. His skin split along his jaw, peeling back in wet seams as black fur forced its way through. Droplets of blood lifted into the weak gravity, floating between us like crimson pearls. His teeth fell loose, drifting away before jagged fangs punched through his gums like syringes. The comms filled with his screams, then static, then snarling. His arms cracked and lengthened, claws bursting from the suit's gloves as though the material was nothing. The helmet fogged with spit and blood, a shadow moving behind it that wasn't human anymore. Carter, I choked. But it wasn't Carter anymore. He rose to his feet in front of me, towering over me like a mountain. I could see it in perfect detail through the glass of his helmet. Black fur, a snarling maw, yellow slitted eyes. I ran. Each step was a bound, my body floating clumsily across the lunar surface. Behind me, claws scraped against metal and dust as he stumbled after me, howls distorted through the comms. Were we on Earth, I'm sure I'd be a dead man. But the monster did not share Carter's knowledge of how to move in reduced gravity. Not yet, at least. The hatch loomed ahead. I dove inside, slammed it shut, my hands shaking so violently I nearly missed the lock. The banging came seconds later, claws dragging down the hull, rhythmic thuds as something too strong pressed against the door. My headset filled with static, then a guttural breath that didn't belong to any man I knew. He was outside, still sealed in his suit. The only thing keeping me alive now were the thin walls of the pod between us, for now. Each new pound from outside is accompanied by a new dent in the metal. Each scratch sounds closer and closer to me, like the metal is getting thinner. I don't know exactly how long I've been in here. No more than 45 minutes. My oxygen will run out eventually. His will too. Unless the thing wearing Carter doesn't need air anymore. All I can hear is the scratching at the hull, claws testing every seam, every bolt. Sometimes it pauses, as if listening to me breathe. I don't know what I should do. If I leave him here, maybe he suffocates on the moon. Maybe he doesn't. If he is still Carter, is it wrong to leave him? My superiors are being slow with directions. There isn't a protocol from this. But they assure me there's no way he's getting in. I could really use some advice. Preferably soon.